Milk Minute.
RESEARCH. Research, research, research. It's time for Research a Minute. This is Teacher Ivy sharing you some tips in doing your research. Don't you know that there are words, terms being used in research? Do you know how important to master these terms? If not, then it's time for you to do that.
Okay, let's start. Everybody say abstract.
Abstract.
Introduction. Data. Say data. Theory. Again, theory. Conclusion. Literature review. Conceptual framework. Research design. Methodology. Plagiarism. References.
Now that you know these terms, put it in your word bank, put a star, and memorize. As a researchers, these words or terms are very essential once you start writing your research paper. Each term plays a vital role in completing every chapter down to your conclusions and recommendations. They are the guide. They set the tone for what is to follow, what needs to achieve, and rely on the support you need to substantiate your research. And yes, this has been your Teacher Ivy for Research a Minute.
Your communication hub and literary arts center of Isabela. English Academy.
An analogy describes the relationship between words. Subject, verb, your teacher, one hand.
English Academy.
Great day, grade 10 learners! Finally, we're on the fourth quarter of the school year. And I just want to congratulate you for all your hard works.
You know I'm gonna get.
How's your day so far?
Amazing!
I'm sure you're enjoying our learning series here at Radyo Eskwela sa Isabela. And to add color to your day, we have prepared for you another engaging and fun-filled learning session in English 10.
Alright.
I am your radio teacher, Eileen Joy Mora, who will be your guide today. Before we dig in, check if you have with you your paper, ballpen, water, and other essential things you need for today's learning session. That's great! You are now geared up for our learning action. Do you know the different fantastic resources in the Philippines? Just like the warm and tranquil sand beaches of Boracay and Dinajawan, the delicate chocolate hills in Bohol, the awesome underground river in Palawan, and the artistic Manawi rice terraces. Can you name other spots? I feel that you already miss visiting different places, and so do I. Really, the list goes on and on. Aside from the natural wonders, our country is blessed with strong and optimistic people who can smile amidst disasters and calamities. Come hell or high water, we are the brave, the kind, and the resilient Filipinos. Do you agree?
That's right.
We are indeed a diverse country. Our country is composed of 7,107 islands. Also, there are 7 major ethnic groups that can be further divided into 183 ethnic and ethno-linguistic groups who speak 176 local languages. These facts I have mentioned can be gathered from different sources. Can you name one of them? You're right. Aside from our friendly neighbor, Mr. Google, we can also get information from the newspapers, textbooks, other online articles, or even acquire them from interviews and speeches. Sources of information, my dear learners, are a great deal for our first topic for the fourth quarter of school year 2020-2021. This information can be gathered either from primary sources or secondary sources. As you may be wondering, let me give you a preview of our lesson for today. Can you write on your notebook 3 problems existing in our country today? I believe you write different answers based from your observation, but I bet you are common with one, and that's the most obvious, our problem regarding the COVID-19 pandemic and the best effective ways we can use to cope. With the problems you written, my dear learners, what should you do? How will you solve it? To come up with a solution, you need information regarding your problem. You need a systematic way to obtain your answer. And this is where we are going to call our superhero, Captain R. Do you know what Captain R means? R is for research. We call the process of finding the solution to our problem as research. As all you know, research contributes a lot in the advancement of the world, and this is a key player in our daily life.
Amazing!
Research then puts you in a context where a problem exists. You have to collect facts or information, study such data, and come up with a solution to the problem based on the results of your analysis. It is a process requiring you to work logically or systematically and collaboratively with others. And to get friends with Captain R or research, you must know first the different technical terms used in this field. Yes! Today, I will share with you a dozen of the most basic technical terms in research. Are you ready? Yes! You may take down notes as you encounter each term. Will that be alright?
Alright.
First, we have the abstract. Again, we have the first term, abstract. Abstract summarizes all sections and help readers like you decide whether or not to read the entire report. Basically, the abstract is the overview of the research. Have you ever encountered an abstract or overview of a research paper? Did you read the whole document after reading it? I guess the abstract was enough for you to glimpse the whole idea of the research. Yes! This is possible because the abstract contains the necessary details inside the research paper. Will you repeat the word abstract for me? That's right. The next term is introduction. Introduction presents background information, scope, and focus of the research paper. It answers the question who, what, where, when, and why. Do you know what are the commonly asked questions in the introduction? Listen carefully. These are: who are involved in the problem? What is the problem? Where do this problem takes place, or when these problems are faced? Or even the question, why do we need to answer this problem? So, that term is under introduction. The next term is data. Data is a plural form of the word datum. Data are factual information used as a basis for reasoning, discussion, or calculation. The difference between a mere hearsay and research is that research is accurate, and accuracy can only be obtained with precise and organized data that can support our claims for them to be accepted. What kind of data do you have in mind? Oops! Mobile data is a different thing because data in research can be in a form of interviews, measurements, or statistics. That's why data need to be analyzed and interpreted to have meaning. In research, we also have a general explanation about a specific behavior or set of events that is based on known principles and serves to organize related events in a meaningful way. And this is our fourth term, which is theory. Our fourth terminology is theory that simply backs up researcher's claim about his research. A theory describes why such things occur in a given data. Examples of theories are Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning, and John Piaget's cognitive development theory. Can you name other theories you know? The fifth research term is conclusion. Will you say it again? That's right. Conclusion provides the summary of the research. Research is about discovering things, and you state all your discovery in the conclusion section of your research paper. And where do you think is the conclusion situated in the research paper? Yes, it is in the end or last pages of your research paper. Let's proceed to the next term, and this is discussion. Discussion evaluates the results of the study or research. The purpose of the discussion is to interpret and to describe the significance of your findings in light of what was already known about the research problem being investigated, and to explain any new understanding or fresh insights about the problem after you've taken the findings into consideration. So, what are the first 6 terms that we have just discussed? We have the abstract, introduction, data, theory, conclusion, and discussion. Now, let's proceed to the other terms. What comes into your mind if you see a library? That's right. We can see printed and unprinted materials, right?
Yes!
Libraries are rooms that hold knowledge. Our next term uses man's written and spoken knowledge of the world. It is called literature review. Literature review provides a review of what others have written or researched on concerning the topic. The literature review is usually the chapter 2 of a research paper. It comprises of related literature and related studies. Just a quick note, my dear learners, when you will decide for your research topic and title, read literature review first so you can have a wide background on what is already known and the blind spots in the topic that you are going to study. In that case, you can easily narrow down your topic and title. Let's now proceed to the next term. What game have you played recently? I guess you came up with a strategy to win the game, right?
Yes!
Same in research. We have what we call the research design. It is the game plan or method for finding out what you want to know or looking for the solution to your research problem. That's research design. Have you ever seen a map? Yes! What is its purpose? Indeed, map serves as a guide. The ninth research term works as a guide for it shows the direction of the study. It is called conceptual framework. Again, it is conceptual framework. It is a basic structure that serves as mental window of the researcher because it depicts the research design and the relationships of the variables involved. It can be written or visual presentation. The most basic conceptual framework are the input, process, output, and feedback, and independent and dependent variable design. Another research term is methodology. These are methods or systematic approaches to the conduct of operation or process. It includes steps of procedure, application of techniques, systems of reasoning or analysis, and the modes of inquiry employed by a discipline. Example of methodology are survey, interview, and observation. What do you think is the difference between a research method and design? All right, research design is a plan to answer your question, while a research method is a strategy used to implement that plan. Are you following the list? Yes! If yes, will you shout unstoppable?
Unstoppable!
That's great! Your desire to learn is really unstoppable.
Yes!
We're down to the 11th term, which is plagiarism. It is presenting someone else's work or ideas as your own, with or without their consent, by incorporating it into your work without full acknowledgement. All published and unpublished material, whether manuscript, printed, or electronic form, is covered under this definition. Students, always remember to give due credit to the author when you are citing information in your research to avoid plagiarism, okay?
Alright!
Well, plagiarism nowadays is just as simple as copy-paste system. So be careful, okay?
Yes!
You can give more credit to the author by including them in your reference.
That's right.
And reference is our 12th term for today. Reference lists all the sources used in research. Referencing allows you to acknowledge the contribution of other writers and researchers in your work and provides evidence to support the assertions and claims in your own research. Class, in addition to these 12 terms, also remember that there are two classifications of research: the qualitative research and quantitative research. Qualitative research seeks to answer about why and how people behave in the way they do. It provides in-depth information about human behavior. It often involves words or language, but may also use pictures or photographs and observations. Whereas quantitative research, as the name implies, is more concerned on numerically produced data that are analyzed through mathematics and statistical methods. It explains phenomena by collecting numerical data and analyzing them to obtain results. Thus, the quantity implies. Can you still follow?
Yes!
What a great thinking you've got! You surely are hashtag future researchers. Have you listed all the 12 terms, my dear learners?
Yes!
That's great! What are the 12 research terms I have discussed? Amazing! You really jot them down. The research term together are abstract, introduction, data, theory, conclusion, discussion, literature review, conceptual framework, research design, methodology, plagiarism, and reference. Very good, class. Give yourself a big round of applause. Now, how about the two types of research? What are they? He named them right. These are qualitative and quantitative research. Now, give yourself a big hug for a job well done. Now, my dear learners, let's check your understanding of the different research terms you have encountered today. On your notebook, write true if the statement is correct and false if it is wrong. Did you catch my drift?
Yes!
Again, write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is incorrect. That's very nice. Let's begin. For number 1, abstract is the overview of your research paper. I repeat, abstract is the overview of your research paper. Is this true or false? Number 2, introduction presents background information, scope, and focus of the research paper. Again, introduction presents background information, scope, and focus of the research paper. Is this true or false? Number 3, sources are factual information. Again, sources are factual information. Is this true or false? Number 4, theory lists all the sources used in research. Again, theory lists all the sources used in research. Is this true or false? Number 5, findings provide the result of the study or research. Again, findings provide the results of the study or research. Is this true or false? For number 6, discussion is the summary of the research. I repeat, discussion is the summary of research. Is it true or false? For number 7, research design is the systematic approach to the conduct of an operation or process. Again, research design is the systematic approach to the conduct of an operation or process. Is this true or false? For number 8, plagiarism is misconduct in research. Again, plagiarism is misconduct in research. True or false? For number 9, methodology is the game plan of your research. I repeat, methodology is the game plan of your research. Is this true or false? And we're on with the last number. Number 10, reference explains a certain phenomenon. Again, reference explains a certain phenomenon. Are you done finalizing your answers?
Yes!
Great, let's check them out. Number 1, put a check on that item if your answer is true. Indeed, abstract is the overview of your research. Number 2, introduction presents background information, scope, and focus of the research paper. So, the answer is true. Did you get 2 checks in a row?
Yes!
Let's keep going. For number 3, sources are factual information. Again, that statement is true. For number 4, the correct answer is false. Theory does not list all the sources used in research. It is done in the reference. For number 5, the answer is true. Findings provide the results of the study or research. How's your score so far?
Legendary!
Did you get the first 5 items right?
Yes!
And let's keep the ball rolling. For number 6, the answer is false. Discussion is not the summary of the research. Rather, it evaluates the results of the research. And for number 7, this is another false. Research design is not the systematic approach to the conduct of an operation or process. For number 8, plagiarism is misconduct in research. It is true. For number 9, the answer is false. Methodology is not the game plan of your research. It is the research design. And the last item, that's number 10, the answer is false. Reference does not explain in a certain phenomenon. Theory does. Great job, class! Give yourself 2 thumbs up and shout victory!
Victory!
Before we end, I want to pose a question to you. What do you think is the importance of knowing the technical terms used in research? I want you to write your answers on your reflection notes. And don't forget to share your answers with your subject teacher.
Yes!
What a great learning experience I had with you today, class. It is no doubt that you're ready to face the arena of research for the 4th quarter. And you will be hashtag future researchers in action of the 21st century. And that's the end of our lesson today. Don't forget to read your modules and answer the tasks given. If you have concerns, please do not hesitate to send it to your subject teacher in whatever communication line available. Till next time, my vibrant learners, on behalf of Miss Leia Camille Pacle, our scriptwriter, and the SDO Isabela RBI production team, this is your radio teacher Eileen, greeting you a blessed day. Bye!
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela.
Tayo na!
Sa Radyo Eskwela.